Good morning from the Water Utilization Learning Center. I'm out here in a soybean field, and we definitely have some volunteer corn and other weeds coming up in these soybeans. And so if we look at last week's weather, we had a significant amount of wind throughout the week, and it definitely caused problems with our ability to get out on these soybeans and get the weeds controlled properly. And so I'm out here with Mark Reiman. And so Mark, what is the plan to control these weeds?
Well, our plan is really, now that we can get back in there, you want to do a couple of things. You want to layer your residual herbicides. So we've put Warrant in to, keep the weeds down. We've got Roundup in the tank mix to take out the grasses that we're seeing and other weeds. And then we've got Select in the tank to take out the volunteer corn. So we do want to remind you, use the high rate of that though. We are starting to see that volunteer corn get very big. You might have got pushed a little bit off of, maybe not a little bit, maybe a week to 10 days off of the window when you wanted to be spraying out there in the field. So it's really something to be on alert for. You're no longer going after, small corn plants out there, maybe where you can get buy with lower rates. You're going to want to make sure you've got the full amount of adjuvants and that higher rate of herbicides for going after or killing that corn.
Yeah, and with that volunteer corn, you got to make sure you're getting the product down into the whorl. That whorl of that corn is a little higher than some of these soybeans, and so make sure that the product is getting down in there, and so it can get down to that growing point of that corn.
Yeah, so just providing a little extra challenge having the wind last week. If you look down at the soybeans, you do see a lot of really beat up, really tattered leaves that kind of occurred because of it. We have seen rapid growth out of the soybean plants though now, and we're approaching, I think, V6 by my count for the most part. The leaves, now look a lot better because we've been without wind for about a week. That's really that really tore things up early on for us. So they're starting to look nicer, starting to put together a much nicer, start to a canopy on them. And that canopy is going to be important. When it closes, obviously, if you've got a layered residual in there, it really helps keep the weed pressure down for the rest of the season.
All right. Is there any insects or diseases of importance out here in these soybeans?
We're not seeing really anything in the way of disease or insects yet. We would be starting to come into the time when you might start to see Dectes stem borer adults or things like that start laying eggs. In our scouting, we haven't seen any of those just yet, but those are some things that'll be coming on. There's not a lot you can do for them though in terms of control. So as far as things we can control, not really seeing anything out here right at the moment.
Alrighty, well, the soybeans, just like the corn, are starting to take off, but we got to make sure we get good weed control down in these soybeans before that canopy closes. And so that's going to be the biggest challenge as we move forward here for the next couple weeks, getting those products on, making sure we get good weed control because of the challenges of last week in those high winds. So with that, we'll talk to you in the future about other agronomic topics from the Learning Center.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.